What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2006 movie The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. So in this movie, we get a new set of characters, and follows Sean Boswell, a teenager who, in order to avoid going to jail after having a street race in America, goes to live in Tokyo with his father, and he becomes friends with a group of people and gets caught up in the underground world of drift racing and has to face off against the Drift King. So this is a interesting movie in the franchise. It's widely known as the black sheep of the Fast and the Furious franchise and stuff, mainly because of just not really having much to do with the other movies except for the introduction of Han, who would later become a pretty big character in the franchise, and stuff. But that's really the main thing about this one. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really entertaining and stuff. When it first came out, though, I didn't like it. And I didn't want to see it and everything. I loved the first two. And when I found out Paul Walker and Vin Diesel weren't coming back for it, except I didn't know that Vin Diesel had a cameo in here until I watched it for the first time a few years ago. But I wasn't interested in seeing this movie because of that and everything. And I watched like maybe 10 minutes of it when it aired on cable. It was either on Cinemax or Stars or one of those channels, and I watched 10 minutes of it and was like, yeah, I can't finish this crap and stuff. And right before I saw Furious 7, I ended up rewatching the first two movies and watching all of the franchise and everything, and I really enjoyed this one when I watched it then, and I still enjoy it to an extent now, but it is still one of my least favorites in the franchise. It's not terrible though. I don't think it's near as bad as some people say it is, but I can get why people don't like it as much, because it doesn't really have much to do with the other movies. But I still thought it was okay. Like the street races and stuff are really good in this movie. They did a really good job with that, like the stunts and stuff. And Justin Lin's directing is really good. And he kind of became a mainstay for the franchise. He directed 3 of the sequels after this one, and then he's coming back for 9, 10, and 11. So he's like one of the big directors of this franchise, and I think he does a really good job with this movie and stuff. And like the cinematography in here is some of the best cinematography in the franchise as well. That's something I can't really deny either. But the characters in here are pretty good. Lucas Black plays Sean, and I think he's an okay character. He is a little bit annoying, but he kind of does feel like a off-brand Paul Walker and everything. But he's alright as this character. I don't think he's as annoying as a lot of people said, but he is 100% not convincing as he's in this movie. He had to have been at least 25 or 26 when he made this movie, and he is not convincing at all as a 17-year-old. And I don't get why they didn't just make him an adult or something, because he's or had an actual teenage person or someone that looked young enough to be a teenager, because he doesn't even look young enough to be a teenager in this movie and everything. He wasn't convincing as a teenager, and that's something that I know a lot of people complain about, older movies doing that with especially teen movies and stuff. Like the actors aren't really the ages they're playing and stuff, and sometimes it's really unconvincing, like in Grease and stuff like that. But sometimes I can overlook it like I do in Grease, but this movie, it's really hard to overlook it, especially when he's surrounded by a lot of other adults too. I think that's really what it is. Bow Wow is, I really like Bow Wow as Twinkie. He's a really likable character and stuff, and I heard he's coming back for Fast 9. I really hope he does. That'd be really cool. And Natalie Kelly as Neela, the love interest for Sean, is pretty good and everything. I heard there's rumors that she might be in Fast 9. I don't know if it's true or not yet, but if she is, that'd be pretty cool. And Brian T plays the Drift King, and he's pretty good too. Kind of an intimidating villain and stuff, mainly because the fact that he actually beats the crap out of Sean a couple times in this movie, and he's really good at that and everything. Like, he's good at being an intimidating villain. And I personally would have rather see him be the main character, though, in a way, because I think he would have been a more interesting character. But he was good in here. And I will say that, like, when Sean gets beat up and stuff, it is brutal. They actually show quite a bit of blood for a PG-13 movie and everything. It looks realistic and stuff like it. The makeup effects on that was really good. And of course, the actor that plays Han, Sun Kang, I think is how you say his name. I hope I didn't butcher his name. He's really good as Han and stuff. He's a really likable character and everything. Like I said, you get more of him as the franchise goes on. And but I really enjoyed this one. I think it's a fun movie. It's not near as good as some of the others, but it's still a lot better than a lot of people say it is. The race scenes are done really well. Like I said, they look really great, especially the drifting stuff looks awesome, and the practical effects they use are really good. I think it has more practical than CGI stuff, which the first two had some CGI, but they didn't really look that bad to me. I never really noticed the CGI in them back then, and I still didn't really notice them now. I know a lot of people do, but it doesn't really bother me. I think it's mainly like when they're going really fast, like it has the CGI look kind of, but I never really thought anything of it. But now I will say though that the score in here by Brian Tyler is just really generic and everything. And the songs in this movie were not near as good as they were in the other two movies. Like the music, it had some good music in here, but I didn't really enjoy most of the music in this one either and everything. But besides that, I think this one is a decent movie. It's not one of the best Fast movies. I don't know that I'd say it's the worst and everything, because I really don't remember the others very well either, because from this one on I've only seen them one time and everything, so I don't know if I could say it's the worst, but it's definitely not one of my most favorites either though, and it probably will be lower when I do my ranking. But yeah, so I'd say I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable movie. It doesn't really have a huge impact on the franchise. It doesn't have a whole lot to do in here, except for they tie some things together in Fast 7 to make this movie feel like it has more of a purpose, but it's not one that's one of the very best or anything. It's just a okay standalone movie in the franchise and everything. But let me know in the comments what you think of the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.